Hello and welcome to Wikipedia Weekly Network, where me, Jan Ainali and Albin Larsen are editing Wikidata live. Happy New Year, Albin.
Happy New Year to you too, and everyone watching.
Yes, Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you all are back in the new year after the holiday season, if you had one, and perhaps even had some time doing some editing. Did you do some editing the last couple of weeks when we were off air?
I did. Quite a bit actually. But actually mostly a bit of coding, making gadgets and stuff, and not actual editing.
Nice.
It's the time of the year when you can get that type of thing done. And you?
Yeah, I did quite a bit of editing, and I also learned a new tool, which I will show off today.
Right. And you also did all your weeks last year, right?
Yes, I had my challenge with 52 Wikidata weeks, where I tried to edit a new type of item every week, like a new instance of, which was some weeks very challenging, and coming up with new ideas of things to edit, and also finding notable things within those. But yeah, it turned out well. So will you be showing off any of those tools you've been coding on today?
No, I'm afraid not, but maybe at a later stage.
Okay, and so today you're doing...
Today I'm doing, the idea is to do Geo-based maintenance queries to try to find duplicates using the geospatial data we have.
That's pretty cool. I think we already seen you finding a few things like being off previously. So something like that.
Something like that. Just adding actually to the collection of maintenance queries for glaciers.
All right. And we have with us, we have Thad and we have Nicholas, also wishing Happy New Year. Yes, nice. So yes, so I'll be showing off especially one tool that I have learned during this, based on Lexemes, or as helping with Lexemes. So, but we have been editing Lexemes before, so I'll start there, I guess, and show the base. We're in Wikidata here, and I will actually show two tools, because I'm not sure if I show the other ones, but it's also very good. So what I'm first going to try to do is I want to add the Swedish word for sea level. And it's a little bit tricky searching for words like Lexemes in, because you don't get the preview here, but you can actually search and you can see, and oh, yes. So this was slow. Yes. So sea level, we don't have it yet. And just to show what it could look like, so I'm just searching for sea or ocean. And there we have them. So by doing L:, you can sort of just searching in that namespace. But we didn't have sea level, which in Swedish is a compound word. So we just stick them together like that, and we don't have it. And instead of... Yes.
Jan, could you zoom a little?
Yes. Very nice. Thank you, Nicholas. I could zoom if I'm zooming in the right window. I think this will probably be easier to see. Yes. So here, you could create a new Lexeme here, but I'm actually going to use a tool by Lucas Werkmeister called Wikidata Lexeme-forms. And you can find it on this URL. And I like it a lot. And it has like forms for various languages and different types of words. And what I want here, I think this is the one I want. I'm not an expert in grammar, but that's why this one is so good, because you get like the sentence where you just need to put the word in. And if you're a native speaker like I am in Swedish, you get a feel for it. This is this is the form that I want. So here I will go and just start it. And it's also very good if the word already exists. You will get a warning here. But now we don't get anything, so we'll know that, no, there is nothing like this. And then you go for the different kind of forms here. And I'm cutting and pasting the base or the stem of it. Like that. We have 8 different forms for a regular noun in Swedish. So let's go with this and just create. And it will add some basic properties based on the form I chose. And then we have all the forms here. So this was the base here. I'm going to add a few more basic things on this. So I'm going to add that this one is a compound word. So I wonder if it is compound. Combines. And then we have the Swedish noun have. I'm going to add a qualifier which states series ordinal. This is the first one. And this one should be, no, I don't remember it in English. Derived from form. Yes. And then I'll add the correct form from here. I'll have to look up which one of them it is. So this is the one that I want. So this is the correct form for the word that I just created. So add that over here. Maybe I should zoom out one time so we can actually see something there. Yes, like that. And publish it. Now I'm going to get a warning here because I only have one of the combines. So I need to add the second one. And that's the level Swedish noun. We'll add the series ordinal 2 and derived. No, not from form. And we look that up as well. And this is the first one. And add it here. And we also got a very good question here from Thad. Demonstrates form, which is a property we have. I'm not using it for the combines, but I'm going to use that one for the examples. So here we have the derived form. I'll publish it. And now hopefully this one will go away. Yes, so now we have 2 here. So it combines these 2 words. And we'll add a few examples as well, just to And this is the one in English. We just changed the label in Swedish, so a little bit. And now I prepared a little bit. So I have a few sentences here from, I think this is from a Swedish parliamentary motion. So this one shows the basic one. So we'll add it here. It will ask for Swedish. No. Add, oh. Now I don't remember here. I'll come back to this one. We recently sort of modeled here that you can state that this is formal or informal usage. And since this is in the parliament, I would say this is quite formal. And then we are still discussing if we should use the type of reference, if it's written or oral. So we know that if someone actually spoke these words, or it can help you out a little bit if you try to do some more complex things. But of course, we have this as open data portal of the Swedish Parliament. And here we can actually go with the document ID to get a nice little link back to it. And retrieved today. So let's see. So here's one usage example. And then you can continue. I might go into this deeper, but now I want to go to the tool I wanted to show you today. And the tool I want to show you was the one called LinguaLibre. And LinguaLibre is a tool that helps you record words and then easily upload them to Wikimedia Commons. And you can find them on this URL, lingualibre.org. And how you do it is that you're, and I'm actually gonna see here, I'm gonna stop sharing because I want to share you this one with the audio so that you can also hear, because it actually has some neat features. So I'll stop screen here, and then I'll share again and share that as a tab and let it use the audio. All right, let's see if this works now. I've tried this a couple of times. I hope it works. And if it works, then let's see. So here it asks you to press the button and see if you have a good setup. So I'll press here, start a test in Swedish. Say something. Say something. Did you hear that read back? Did you hear it, Albin? No? Ah, that's too bad. So it actually talks back to you when you say it. And so you can hear that you have good sound. Oh, Nicholas says he heard it. That's good. And now I want to go further, and I will stop sharing again because I already prepared this in another tab. So I'll stop here, and this is the tab. I already added a few words in that one. So let's share again. Chrome tab with audio share. And now you see I already have a few words here, but I'm also going to show you how I do this right now. And I don't think this is the sort of the most easy workflow, but it's easier than just uploading to Commons and recording it in somewhere else. So it's still an improvement, but there's a lot of things to do even better. So the way this works, it needs sort of a feed of list of words in it, and you can either build a list on Wiki, sort of do some sort of geo-based search, or you can add a category. But if you add a category, you only get the word, the base form from Wikipedia. And like you can see here, I want all of the forms. So I'll do this manually for now. I see that we have a couple of questions here. Yes, LinguaLibre is similar to Mozilla Common Voice. So I think they have a little bit better integration to Wikimedia. And then Daniel asked, why don't you reference the QID of the motion instead? Ooh, yes. I think I mostly forgot. So I think I could have just stated in. I'll come back to that. Thank you, Daniel, for reminding me. So let's see. In here, I have these forms that I just added. And now, unfortunately, I need to add them again. So, and now I could copy and paste, but I also know them, the 8 forms. So this is the boring work. But it's not too bad. It depends, of course, of your language. Like if you have 30-something forms, this is going to be very cumbersome. Yes, and as Nicholas said, some days the Lexemes will be back. They were for some time, so you could actually import lists with a query, and I think there was some bot also added them in the proper place. And that would be beautiful. So let's hope that comes back soon. We can remove this one. Yes. So now we see we have these 8, and I have these 8. So I actually have 16 words here I want to record. So let's go to next. And now I just need to click on the microphone and start talking. And it will recognize a pause and go to the next one. And sometimes I'm getting a little bit sort of stressed because I had a couple of times I make some noises in between and it actually records that, but I'll try to relax and read them. So let's see. Nivå, nivån, nivåer, nivåerna, nivås, nivåns, nivåers, nivåernas, havsnivå, havsnivån, havsnivåer, havsnivåerna, havsnivås, havsnivåns, havsnivåns, havsnivåers, havsnivåernas. So you saw there was a red. I was having a little bit of too much of a signal, so it just told me you're too loud, and I backed off a little bit and did it again. So now I recorded all these 16, and I'll just go for next, nivå. And now they want me to listen to all of these again to make sure I actually got in good. And I think nivå, this one actually has some sort of click in it due to probably my computer being overworking right now, trying to stream and doing this at the same time. So I'll uncheck this one and then just go forward. Nivån, better. Nivåer, nivåerna, nivås, nivåns, nivåers, nivåernas. So I'll go through and listen to all of these to make sure they are good. Havsnivå, havsnivån, havsnivåer, havsnivåerna, havsnivås, havsnivåns, havsnivåers, havsnivåernas. And all others were good. So now I'll just go with this big button, publish on Wikimedia Commons. And we got immediately 2 failures. That happens apparently sometimes. Let's see if someone works. Yes, so we see we have some check marks here. So this is making the uploads in the background. And this is based on me being logged into Wikimedia Commons. And when I did that in the beginning, I also had to do an OAuth authentication. And let's see, we have some comments here while this is uploading. All right, just unchecked Swedish on Duolingo. Yes, it's not very easy, but some things are easy. Well, let's see. And Nicholas is coming back here. Yes, so it's a 2-part problem with this connection between Wikidata and LinguaLibre. So yes, well, let's hope. So it uploaded 13 files. So I'll just try this button again, try the failed upload, and it usually works. I never had it fail twice. So let's.
This is super useful flow.
Yes. So now I actually uploaded 15 files on Wikimedia Commons. And what better is, the things that I unchecked here, if I just go for next, it keeps it here. So I can just redo it. Nivå. Go to next. Nivå. It's something when it starts. This isn't. Let's. Nivå. Yes, something glitching there. So I'll go back. Nivå. Nivå. I think my computer can't handle the first couple of seconds. Perhaps if I'm quiet for a bit first. Nivå. Nivå. No. I'll have to do that when I'm not streaming. But either way, so this is the workflow in LinguaLibre. Unfortunately, there's no connection to Wikidata right now. But if I'll just leave this now and go to Commons. And we'll check my recent uploads here. And we'll see I have 15 uploaded files. And now it's unfortunately a little bit of a copy and paste exercise to add this. And how you add them is you add a statement here. And let's see, this is. So we have two kinds, or three even perhaps, kinds of.
Are you in a window we can't see?
Oh, yes, I am. I'm too quick switching tabs. Thank you. So I'll undo here. And I need to. So I'll stop sharing here. Oop. Thank you, Albin. And share my entire. Now we don't need the audio anymore. So I can share the entire window. Yes. So back, copy and paste, and then go back to the Lexeme that we created earlier today. And here on the form, we'll add a statement. And I'll start here, pronunciation again. You see, we have three different pronunciation things. And this is the audio we want. And then I'll just paste that. And it'll see this is the file on Commons. And I'll publish it. And then we'll just do the same for the other ones. Audio.
Actually, if you do a lot, I imagine, because you got the queue number, I imagine you can use quick statements.
Yes.
And copy paste it from your Commons upload.
Because they're very, what is it called, regular in the name and stuff like that. So yes, you could. I haven't been doing them in too large batches yet, but if you do, I think that's something that could be done. Mm-hmm. Oh, no, wrong button. And statement. So here I could go back and forth here as well, but since even here I know that there's, so I can just change the name here. Yes, and even here, Nicholas says, ideally we'll have a bot doing this, because this isn't very much thought process needed from you, but also a little bit of a. It'd been nice doing this over the holidays, having some sort of like relaxing, repetitive work to do.
We have been getting back to that a couple of times.
Yeah.
The Wikidata relaxing editing.
Yeah. So I'll just finish this. Of course, I could do this. Oh, there's even better. Publish. There's a trick here as well. We don't have it on this one, but for some words in languages, you might have the same spelling and pronunciation from different forms. And I tried to do copy the entire statement. It didn't work. So I asked the maintainer to add it, but he revealed that instead of doing to the same entity, you actually stay onto another entity and just then it actually works. So that's a little trick for you if you have more you want to copy. I think that has something to do with these things to do. Nope. We're at the where's no, I think there's only one left. Yes, publish it. Nope, we're not editing it, we're adding. There we have it. So that's all the files here added. And so this one is complete for at least with one speaker. I'm not sure if we want many more speakers to this. Let's see if there's something else we could add. We haven't added any senses yet. I think that could be useful. And to do that, I'm actually gonna look up sea level, what the item says, because I find it that usually, I think havsyta, havsnivå. If I just go for this, yes, let's go with this. And I'll actually change these. Here we have these where we want to swap. Add a description here as well. I'll copy that one for now. I'll publish here, and then I'll go back to the Lexeme. I'll add a sense in Swedish, and here's the gloss. I'll just copy this and publish. And then I'll add a statement here. Item for this sense in English, and it's this one. I'll use your nifty little copy. So now this is, it's not a complete by any stretch, but it has most of the basic things. It has the grammar that you need. It has something of how the word came to be. You have some examples. Here you could have probably at least one example per form, so you understand how they are actually used. And sometimes even, I guess, like for formal usage or informal usage or stuff like that. And then, of course, if it has several different senses, you can also have them. So you can end up with a lot of usage examples.
I think we have a great question in the chat here about if we can indicate the dialect somehow.
Yes. So I didn't show you this right now, but in LinguaLibre, you actually state if you're native or if you learned it somewhere else, and you can also say from where, in which region or something like that. So, and you're correct. It will vary a lot within Sweden. Perhaps not this word specifically, but we have many words that do vary. So yes.
Yeah, because that is something, for example, I would need to do here. I would have a very rolling R. So I would need to indicate that it's småländska.
Yes. So let's see. We actually had an R. We have this one. How would you say that?
Havsnivåer.
Yes, and I'm saying it havsnivåer. But it's not a huge difference. But
it's slightly different.
There are other words where you hear it more, but so a linguist could probably tell our dialects apart from that. So this is a few of the basic things, and the two very nifty tools that I used here and that I like a lot is the LinguaLibre and the Lexeme-forms. So that if you're working with Lexemes, that will help you. So I can strongly recommend both of them. And I know at least the Lexeme-forms, Lucas is, if you give any feedback and you have suggestions, he's usually very quick in developing for it, because this is actively maintained and actively being used by a lot of people. So yeah, I think that's more or less all from me with the Lexemes. Or do we have any question I should answer before we turn it over? No, I think we answered all the important questions that I can find, at least. So stop sharing here and hand it over to you, Albin.
Great, and I'm gonna switch to something completely different. You might have seen this page before. So
you could probably also zoom in one level.
Yes, I have lost that since this last team we streamed. So here I have been collecting various maintenance queries for glaciers in Wikidata, because I happens to be working a lot with glacier related data. And something I really want to do today is to have a query that finds two glaciers which are very close, like within 100 meters. So they might be a duplicate. And I don't have a query like that, so I'm thinking we should try to write that from scratch or almost from scratch, and see if we can find something that we can improve. So I'm gonna head over to the query service. I'm gonna zoom in here as well, both for you and for myself. And I'm gonna start from an example. So essentially we want to have compare distance, and we want it to be a rather small distance. But let's just search for distance. There is a filter. Let's see. Oh. So we can start from something. Places with continent Antarctica more than, that's an example of a maintenance course, but let's see. Places within 1 kilometer of the Empire State Building. I think we could go with this one, the Antarctica one. Let's see what we got here. So it starts off by selecting the coordinates of the South Pole. Next off, it selects something else, a place with continent Antarctica. and the location for that, and it does a filter, a distance filter, with them being 3,000 kilometers away. Okay, so this we can work with. Let's start by switching this out for glacier. Instead of having Antarctica, let's have a glacier in there. Let's just pick a glacier, and that opened a different one. Let's see. Here, Sweden's most southern glacier, actually. And let's move it there. That would be the location for, let's call it G1 for Glacier 1. Here we later on want to have a list of glaciers that we get from a query, so we can look for a bunch of them at the same time. I'm gonna remove this comment. Next up, continent Antarctica. And this is actually for author things. Let's keep this as a generic place, but let's make it instance of. Instance of Antarctica we don't want. We actually want instance of glaciers, but for now I'm thinking we're gonna just say anything to see what we have nearby. And we pick the location of this one, and this would be, let's keep location for now. And let's compare it. 3,000 kilometers away. We want this to first of all be less, and let's make it less than 0.5, half a kilometer. So to go through what we have here currently, we would now pick the location of a glacier, a specific one, the Helix Glacier. We would then look for any place with any instance of. We'd pick that location and check, is that within 500 meters? If so, we will keep that one. So let's see, I'm gonna say star here, select everything, and I'm gonna remove the map one. Let's see what we get nearby. This will most likely break, I just realized now, because it will look through all items with a location here and the instance of in Wikidata. We don't want that. Let's add country to this as well. We're gonna need a limit like that later on anyway. I broke it now. Let's move it back. But here, DDG country, and we want to go with Sweden. Something like that to limit ourselves, because we got the timeout. So now we have the Helix Glacier, and we're looking for author items in Sweden, which are nearby. This might still be too much, I imagine, but let's try it. In the meanwhile, we can actually pick from an author query. We can pick the property path for things that are glaciers, or this did work. So all items in Sweden does work. So let's see, this is the glacier itself. We can see that on the QID, it's the same as we got up here. It is within 500 meters of itself, but we also got an author place. within 500 meters of that. I would imagine this is the mountain on which the glacier is located. So, okay, that works. That's great. Let's still move this to the property path for finding glaciers. So this is essentially instance of something that's a glacier or a subclass of glacier. So if we rerun this, it should go a lot faster. Yes, but we don't get that because there is no nearby glacier within 500 meters. That's essentially the logic we would need. Let's rename more variables related. This is glacier 2. This is going to be glacier 1 later on. And also, let's rename that to G2. Run that as it is. We only get the one, which is it. Now we want to replace this first one with any glacier in Sweden. We essentially want to duplicate this one. This might time out. I would imagine so, actually. So I'm gonna switch this out to glacier 1, glacier 1, and so now it will select a bunch of glaciers here. It will also select all orchard glaciers in Sweden, and it will compare the location of the two. Let's see. So this would give us... Oh, this is interesting. Let's see what this gave us. I imagine we would get more results because they should always return themselves.
So you would want to see anything where G1 is not G2?
Yes, but exactly. So all of these are themselves. It looks like. No, this one, for example, is differs. So
yes.
let's see what that is. So it's Östra Kol. Oh, this is a tricky word. Kolsa glaciär. And Skittedalsglaciären. I would imagine those two are different ones.
And some different things in it.
Yeah. And that is a identifier 160, and that's based on coordinate, right? 161. Right. So those are just two glaciers within 500 meters from each other, but it kind of proves that the query itself works. So I think we can now take a more realistic value here. 500 meters won't show duplicates, I imagine, but maybe 200 meters could reveal some. And we still have this problem with this, that it's the same item on both ends. So that would be the same. 25. Oh, here's one that differs. Let's have a look at both of them. They have very different names. I'm not gonna even try to pronounce this one. Norra Hamburg Glacier is this one at least. Let's see the identifiers again. 146. According to a Swedish university, 147. They have very similar numbers, which I imagine is a good thing. Let's see if we have more. That's the same as it is. Oh, here, this is interesting. Here, it's the same pair, but they are switched places in the query because it's run through both of them at the same time. That's the same. That one differs.
Nicholas have a tip for you in the chat.
That would be great. It's bigger. Yeah. Let's add that. I think we can even do it like let's see what it would be. It would be G1 is, make that a string, and it's st string t2. This will, oh, this wasn't smart by me. Of course, this filter should be above the first one because it's very much a less complex one. Yes.
Just 9 seconds anyway.
Yes, I'm gonna rerun it. Yeah, but 9 seconds is very good because we're, at least if everything is correct, we are running through all glaciers in Sweden.
What? You got longer.
I got longer. Yes, I did. Not sure why. That's odd. It might be a bunch of people making queries as well. So let's, now I'm gonna close a couple of ones here first. Orchard words are gonna be lost. Like that. Yeah, then we only get different ones, I believe. Yes.
One results.
Yes. Now we can actually make it even simpler for us. We can do G1 label, G2 label, and let's do G1, and here G2, and let's add, no, we already got the service, something like that. Why is it longer? Mr. Yes, I had a very interesting discussion the other day about some of the implementations in actually Blazegraph regarding performance. The sample function in SparkL, how it actually operates. Yes, let's see here, because now we can see if some of them has similar names. They all seems to have different ones here. But here are a couple of ones. So here we only get the QID, and here we get a name of it, which is a bit of an indicator for me that one of them has more data than the other one. So let's take a look at this one. It has an ID of 18. This doesn't have an ID. It does, however, have a Swedish label, which is very different.
Yeah. It had a site link, even.
It had a site link. Yes, it has. Let's see. This does not have a site link. Let's see if.
Oh,
that's
one of the shortest I have seen.
That is a very useful article.
So for you who are not fluent in Swedish, it says it's a glacier in Sarek in Sweden.
Yeah, very much so. The info box is very informative compared to the article itself. Yes, this is a little hard to say.
Did they have the exact same coordinate?
That's a good question. Let's see. 1875. 18. They have the exact same coordinate.
Plot thickens.
Yes.
Nicholas says, I don't speak Swedish, but I understood this article. Yeah.
That is the type of articles that would be really easy to replace with wiki functions. Yes. Let's see if... I don't think this will actually open the map for us. No. Let's see if we can open a glacier map and look at this. And how did I get to the map itself? Could it be under data access? Yes. So this is a database for glaciers, which is entirely based on satellite images, which makes it super exact when it comes to outlines. So let's see if we can actually search these glaciers and see if there is a nearby one even. And thank you very much.
If you go with the label?
Maybe. Let's... Or if it's gonna complain over Swedish letters.
Well, that's not even Swedish letters. Or was it? Yes, it was. All right.
It was. But let's try the other one, this one, which actually has an ID. Oops. No results. Okay, I'm gonna need to do a bit more research here. Let's see if we can see anything more apparent. Here we have... I think those two are rather close. And that's essentially the same. But here we got another one with a QID. Because also here we have 3 glaciers in total. So one of them has to be a duplicate at least. But
yeah. One of them had a label that was similar, but north.
Yes. So it's likely at least 2 glaciers. So this is Hjelmglaciern. Actually, the name indicates that this is more than one glacier. And this would be Borgglacier. Let's do that check with the coordinate again. 128. Yes, it has the exact same coordinate. This is an identifier 116. 117. So this is very interesting. We have quite a lot of glaciers here which has the exact same coordinates. But appears to be different. So I imagine this has been imported from somewhere which do not have very exact coordinates.
You could try turning it down to 0.001, just a meter apart, and you will have anything that's...
But let's do even more.
Yeah. Ooh, all 21 anyway.
Yeah. Ted, let's just pick at random here. Let's see. And 300, 200. Yes.
Uh-huh.
All of these glaciers have the same coordinates as the other ones. That's very interesting. I was hoping to find duplicates, but it seems like I have found an even larger issue.
You stroke gold.
Yes. One last thing. Let's see if we can do this for Norway. I don't think we're gonna go beyond countries with this query because it would be very slow. I imagine it's a bit interesting if this will work or not, because Norway has a lot more glaciers.
So it took 10 seconds for Sweden.
Yes. Let's see if we're gonna get a timeout for Norway. What would be our backup country? Somewhere in between Sweden and Norway in the number of glaciers. Iceland? Maybe?
Perhaps. Well, they must have more than Sweden. Iceland.
You think so? I think they have larger ones.
Oh, you have a timeout there. All right.
Here we got the timeout. What more could we have done?
The US?
Yes, the US we could try. Or I imagine they got Alaska. That would be more, I imagine, than
Chile?
yes. Oops. But now we have this very low as well. That was not intended. Let's bring it back to 1.
None there. Yeah.
Yeah, France could be another good one.
But also, this could be a good sign that you don't find any.
Yes. I think this is mostly a good sign, and it would follow a pattern, because very often the duplicate ones has errors on coordinates. Let's try.
You missed the cue.
Yes. Let's try France as well. Right.
Red and a white one.
Let's see, I imagine they all seems to have very different labels. So imagine they are different. Uh, 34, 09. Yes. And let's see, and I imagine these are different as well.
There was another warning sign on those, though. The Cebuano wiki links.
Yes, yeah, the ones with geonames. Same here.
Yeah.
That's always a little scary, but they seem to be different ones. 44? Didn't that also have 44? No.
Nope.
Okay. They are different ones. That's great. Yes, glaciers end up in each orchard and are often the same, but it's very rare that they have this exact same coordinate with even with that in mind. There has been a bit of issue with this data source in particular when it comes to glaciers, that they have this very generic coordinate, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Wikidata should inherit that problem itself. But indeed, glaciers are things that change a lot, particularly in the last 100 years.
Perhaps even in the last 10 and 20.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
If we take it back from the mid of the 1800th century, they would have shrunken a lot since the Little Ice Age, when people were actually afraid of glaciers becoming larger rather than today becoming smaller. Okay, I think that's it for me today.
All right. Very cool with these, like comparing the distances, because I think we only have a few example queries, and I think there are a lot of more interesting data hidden in this.
Yeah. So I have been showing this for glaciers, but you could replace this with any type which has coordinates. So you could use this for monuments. You could use it for just about everything to find duplicates.
Did I show that before, or did I just think that I should show it before about finding the same monument in two different images?
Yes, you did show that when we did a bit of a Wikila monument special.
Yeah. So that was sort of based on the same sort of principle, comparing, like, are
Yes.
they I think I checked for things within 10 meters, because then I thought you might see them in the same image. Yeah.
Yes.
So let your fantasy run wild and
Yeah.
do some queries.
And I will share this on my user page for glaciers in case you want to reuse it directly.
Do you have a? Can you show just that quickly so people see where they should go?
I will make it even simpler.
You'll show it in the banner.
I will show the query itself in a banner.
There you have it.
So if you want to,
capital M, yeah.
If you want to work with this query in particular and change it for your own needs, this is where you go.
All right. I think this was a quite nice start of the year. Thank you, Albin.
Indeed. I hope we get a lot of opportunities to do new things and discover things.
Yep. And we'll be back later. Until then, keep editing.
Thank you very much.